The minister continues to deflect away from this, from ignoring this dire warning that his own department gave him.
Doug Ford just stuck his foot in his mouth. Welcome back to Moose and Loose. My name's David. Today we've got a Canadian company getting attacked by Doug Ford. He puts on a big theatrical display with really no thought to his actions. You also have the Durham Regional Police absolutely blasting Sean Fraser, ripping him a new one in public. This is humiliating. He's the Attorney General of Canada. Let's jump into this. Starting this one off from Shazzy Goli, we've got international student pipeline just collapsed, down 70% year over year. Work permits cut in half. Universities already slashing jobs. The government says it's about sustainability, but what we're watching looks like to be controlled demolition of the economy. Something is breaking. So number of new international students in Canada takes a huge nosedive. Moving ahead, we've got this one here. Fort McKay First Nation chief made $644,000. And McLean's investigation reveals that six-figure chief salaries are not uncommon. Oh, really? And as Jim points out here, it's all tax-free. Since then, he hides his salary. This is Mondo corruption that needs to be addressed immediately. This freeloading handouts has to end. No more money to First Nations. Everyone just get it treated equal. Bring in clean drinking water, bring in roads, have everyone on the same playing field. This absolutely has to end. Moving ahead, we've got two people charged in armed carjacking in Mississauga. It's every day in Canada. What do you think, doctor or engineer? Got this one here. Donald Trump says that Canada has called and told him that we want to be part of the Golden Dome missile defense system. Yeah, okay.
In Huntsville space, COM will play a key role in building the Golden Dome, as you know. That's going to be a big thing. Everybody wants to be a participant in it. Missile Defense Shield, we're going to be having a Golden Dome that the likes of which nobody's ever seen before. Finest, the best. And by the way, Canada called. They want to be a part of it, and that'll be great. But Canada wants very much to be included in that, and then we're going to work something out with them, I hope.
So a couple of things there. How are we going to pay for that? We don't have money for this. We're broke. We're beyond broke. Trump mentioned the Huntsville Space Center. I actually went to space camp here when I was like 12 years old. These rocket boosters are enormous. They have a centrifuge here, which throws you up against the wall and you essentially become weightless. Pretty cool. Next up, I thought this was interesting. We've got Palestinians walking around with these flags now, downtown Montreal and Toronto. And it's been stirring up a lot of anger in Canada. And so someone was posting this. This is on Amazon, and you can see it is on Amazon here. So yesterday I was going to put this in the video and I forgot. Everyone's going and reporting this product, and I did the same, and now a day later it's already been removed. There was two of these flags, two different styles. They've both been removed after a single day. If that tells you anything about how Canadians feel about this stupid, ridiculous flag, I have faith in Canadians. Moving ahead, we've got Doug Ford sticking his foot in his own mouth, completely blasting Crown Royal, and I'm going to show you why this is really dumb.
Well, there's not too many companies in that small town. What, have you lost your mind? Like, I think they're a few fries short of a Happy Meal, these people.
Doug Ford's talking about Amherstburg, where they had a bottling plant for Crown Royal that they just shut down. They're going to be moving that to America for their American sales of Crown Royal.
Sitting around, absolutely just smug as they come. They're hurting Ontario residents. They're hurting the people that work at Crown Royal. So you know something, a message to the CEO in France: you hurt my people, I'm going to hurt you. You're going to feel the pain in February when these people don't have a paycheck. And I'm going to stand up for the people of Ontario. And I encourage all of Canadians, all of Ontarians, stand up for the people, because you don't know if you're next. But the thing that ticks me off, I get it. I get that companies move back and forth. But what I don't get, when you're someone's largest customer in North America, you're going after the largest customer. You know something? I always say smart people aren't too smart, and you guys are about as dumb as a bag of hammers for doing this. So, you know something? I found a bottle, and I don't even drink, of Crown Royal, right? I see that Crown Royal. I saw it at home. So this is what I think about Crown Royal. That's what they could do. And I think everyone else should do the same thing.
He was expecting this to just be guzzling out, but obviously there's a nozzle on there that limits the flow.
Start supporting companies that make whiskey here by Ontario people. That's what we need to do, is support each other.
So he just said support companies making whiskey here.
You know something? I'm going to make this even come out quicker, because it's not coming out. I know Mayor Barry wants to lie on the floor right now with his mouth open.
No thanks.
But no, I wish I could get this out coming out quicker, but I'll stand here until it's all done. Anyways, folks, thank you. My brothers and sisters in uniform over at Crown Royal, I got your backs. We're going to be there to help you. And by the way,
This is not helping them, Doug.
I'm going to send you the cleaning bill to Crown Royal, too.
Oh yeah, he's gonna send the cleaning bill, dumping out Crown Royal on the grass. This guy's an idiot. Doug Fort's attacking Crown Royal when quite literally Crown Royal is only made in Canada. You see here, Crown Royal Distillery in Gimli, Manitoba, 360-acre property at Lake Winnipeg. This is where Crown Royal is made. It is not made anywhere else on the planet. Crown Royal, originally known as Seagram's Crown Royal, is a blended Canadian whiskey brand created by Seagram and owned by Diageo since 2000. So Diageo bought them. That's why he took a shot at the CEO in France. They're a London-based company. I guess the CEO's in France. Regardless of Crown Royal being owned by Diageo, this large company, Crown Royal is a Canadian company. Virtually all of its operations are in Canada. They have bottling in America and bottling in Quebec that they're going to be moving. It says here the facility which bottles Crown Royal products will close in February. That's the one we were just talking about, this Amherstburg, Ontario, which is why Doug Fort's mad, in a move aimed to improving North American supply chain. They're dealing with Trump's tariffs. Mark Carney is to blame here for this. Doug Fort should be blasting Mark Carney, not Crown Royal. Bottling at the Amherstburg facility intended for the U.S. market would be shifting stateside because they want to deal with the tariffs, while bottling for Canadian consumers would move to Valleyfield, Quebec location. You can't really blame the company here. They're getting hammered by Trump's tariffs, which Mark Carney is not handling. He's not getting a deal. This does not fall on Crown Royal. This is a Canadian company. Doug Ford, in this stupid display, is attacking a Canadian company. This is just going to hurt the sales of Crown Royal and thus hurt more Canadian jobs. This guy's a complete idiot. I mean, look here. This is their facility. 360 acres right on Lake Winnipeg here. This is going to hurt the town of Gimli. Instead of one town hurting, now it's going to be two.
Anyways, folks, that's it. This might take a little while.
We're like a tornado, boss.
Oh, you know what to do then. Here, you want a shot? Go ahead. There you go.
You got a whole bunch of guys there that'll help you.
Yeah, I know. So anyways, that's all I feel.
That's okay.
This is literally made in Canada, this product, by Canadian workers with Canadian products. And he's dumping it on the ground and then blaming the company who has to move their production because of the Trump tariffs. This guy has no problem blasting this company, but then hangs out with his buddy Mark Carney in Muskoka. What a loser.
Send some messages.
He's still standing there. Look at this. I don't doubt that he stood there the entire time until that was dumped out. Moving ahead, we've got this one from Melissa. It says you can now buy a one-bedroom house for $799,000 in Toronto. Grass driveway too. This is Canada here. $800,000 for a rundown tiny little house. This is not the Canadian dream. So with this in mind, let's move over to Sean Fraser here. So we've got this one. Yikes, the Durham Police Association just slammed Sean Fraser for basically the entire Liberal government over the last 10 years. So look at this. So Durham Police Association quoting Sean Fraser here. This is embarrassing. This isn't the Wild West, it's Canada. Not so sure, Minister. When bullets are flying in open spaces at all different directions, having the potential to strike completely innocent individuals, or an 8-year-old is struck by a stray bullet from a shootout while asleep in their bed. So this recently happened. This isn't a fictitious story. An 8-year-old perished because a stray bullet flew through his house and hit him. This is Canada now. A youth ended in an open and public food court washroom. It actually does resemble the Wild West. What's shocking is about this, I don't even know about this one. There's so many. I haven't even heard about this horrific event. You say Canadians need real solutions that make us safer, not slogans that inspire fear and chaos. The fact is, your government has been in place for a decade and offered no concrete solutions or actions to fix a problem that are ever increasing. In fact, you have offered empty promises and excuses that favor offenders rather than the victims of crime. Vigilantism is not the answer. Officers are out working hard to stop these occurrences and keep communities safe and should be trusted to do their jobs. There needs to be real change to assist them in their duties. Citizens and officers who put their lives on the line deserve better than this. Please show us that you mean what you say and that Canadians will see real solutions and effective changes to the law, not more empty promises. This is a police department ripping apart the Attorney General of Canada. This is so unbelievably embarrassing. Like, Sean Fraser is such a loser that the police department has to rip this guy a new one in public. Stop handcuffing our police officers with weak liberal laws. Yeah, our police officers officers need to be able to crack down on the crime. There's a lot of officers I've heard from that it's just frustrating. They work hard to bring people in and then they have to let them back out because of liberal laws. Their job is hard enough. They need laws to support innocent people, not protect the criminals. Fifth, that we've got complete failure. Sean Fraser getting ripped apart by conservative jazzeraj here. On housing, Sean Fraser trying to deny that their immigration policy, his immigration policies is brought the detriment to Canada. He doesn't like it because it's his fault.
One of the things that's really important for Canada's social and economic well-being is that we don't seek to attribute the very real challenges we're having with housing exclusively to the issue of immigration. And I think it's important that we understand that the rate of interest have changed, that the cost of material supplies, labor.
Both.
Mr. Chair, when I'm asked a question, do I have the liberty to have the same amount of time to offer a response?
Respectfully, I think the minister continues to deflect away from this, from ignoring this dire warning that his own department gave him, that caused the housing crisis that we're in today and made it even worse.
Mr. Chair, this is the first time I've heard the Conservative Party openly suggest that the cause of the housing crisis is immigration.
Excuse me, that's false. According to CIBC, they gave a grave warning that Canada needs an additional 5 million new homes units by 2030, on top of the ones that are already projected. That's about 1.5 million more additional homes than the CMHC even projected. Your own housing agency, the CMHC, said they had no faith in your government that these homes will be built. Just recently in this committee, CIBC says the housing crisis is largely due to a failure in planning. So how are these homes going to get built? Minister, you and your government had a report in front of you given to you by your own department. You guys literally threw it out and ignored the warning that caused the housing crisis that we're in today and made it even worse.
Wow. Jazzraj here scolding Sean Fraser. I like the dramatic tossing of the paper on the ground. His family must be ashamed and embarrassed. I really wonder, because Sean Fraser is arguably one of the worst Canadian politicians in history. I mean, Jagmeet Singh giving him run for his money, Justin Trudeau, Mark Carney working his way up there real quick, but Sean Fraser is an absolute loser. This is a funny post here. Sean Fraser named as a young global leader by the World Economic Forum in 2022. Who is he really working for here? It's not Canada. Trudeau promises affordable housing for Canadians in 2015. 2015 would be the last time that Canadians would see anything resembling affordable homes. Let's jump back to this press conference here. There's one more clip here Mark Nixon has of Doug Ford going on a full-blown rant about pew-pews, being able to defend yourself in your home.
Where society's gone, folks, they're defending themselves now. If you have a gun, you're a hunter, and someone's coming into your house to kill your family, they're gonna defend their family, and they should be exempt. You go to root cause. It's not them coming into the house. It's ridiculous. You know something? I have a
Go to the root cause. How about your buddy Mark Carney? This guy's such a hypocrite.
A saying for the folks that are defending their homes: I'd rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6. And unfortunately, my friend Aleem is going to be carried by 6 because he's trying to defend his family. It's a disaster right now in the justice system, and I'm going to be all over the federal government. Just all over them. It's just...
Yeah, we're not buying it, Doug. You're not going to be all over anything.
disgusting.
Doug Ford's theatrical performance there is disgusting. Doug Ford is like a chameleon that always changes only for his own convenience. That's why no one should trust this liar. Yeah, that's it. He is a chameleon that just metamorphs into whatever he needs to be for the day. It doesn't matter. He's got no backbone and no follow through. He needs to tell provincial prosecutors to stop charging homeowners or people who are defending themselves and their loved ones against an intruder. Doug Ford has the ability as premier to go to the provincial prosecutors and tell them to put Canadians first. Why hasn't Doug Ford done that? Moving ahead here, after 3 months of tariffs with a bruising trade war, GDP shrank 1.6%, the steepest drop since the pandemic. Vehicle exports are down 25%, manufacturing investment down 10%, the trade deficit at $19.6 billion.
We begin tonight with some troubling economic news for Canada. New numbers show the economy is taking a hit, shrinking under the weight of outside forces. CTV's Kamal Karamali has been crunching the numbers and joins us now with what's behind the blow to Canada's GDP. Kamal.
Marcia, the downturn driven by the ongoing trade war, signaling signs of a possible recession. After months of being assaulted by U.S. tariffs and battered by the ongoing trade war, Canada now showing major cracks in the armor.
This is not a good picture for Canada and what's happening here.
Canada's economy contracted in the second quarter, much more than expected, shrinking by 1.6% on an annualized basis. It's the first quarterly contraction in nearly 2 years and the steepest decline since the pandemic.
Essentially, the big change was in the first quarter, we had a rush to get exports out into the U.S. as quickly as possible. In the second quarter, that all came to a halt as some of these tariffs started to take effect.
U.S. President Donald Trump ramped up tariffs against Canada and the world that quarter, targeting steel, aluminum, and autos, while April, May, and June then saw a sharp drop-off in business investment by roughly 10%.
The depth of decline that we're seeing in the manufacturing sector is something that we haven't seen in many years. And so it is a cause for concern.
Vehicle exports plummeting nearly 25%, industrial machinery exports and travel services also falling drastically. In fact, Canada saw an unprecedented trade deficit in the second quarter, with a big gap between its minimal exports versus its massive amount of imports. The difference between the two, a whopping $19.6 billion in goods and services.
Well, guess what's happening in the middle of a trade war with the U.S.? We're exporting substantially less stuff to our major trade partner.
All of it raising fears of a recession, which economists say Canada would be in if the GDP sees another decline in the third quarter of this year.
We need to be a little bit more cautious, and that caution, of course, feeds into the economy.
The latest GDP figures will put a sharper focus on the Bank of Canada and whether it'll make an interest rate cut in mid-September.
The recession's already here. Come on, realistically, we know we're in a recession right now. It's got all the signs. There's just too much going wrong. Yeah, we need to break free from the chains of globalism and install a patriot. Yep, already been in recession. Don't wait on media to tell you. Finally, remember, we voted for this. I didn't vote for this, and neither did 99% of you watching this.